In the 150 years since the modern search for Atlantis was kicked off by Heinrich Schliemann's discovery of Troy, no geographical candidate has been identified that comes close to ticking those 24 checkpoints.
We found buried and underwater cities and habitations in the Amazon jungle, in the North Sea, off the coast of Cuba, Malta, Japan, India. What's so important then about taking Plato's lost city out of the fiction basket and saying that it was real when we have so many other ancient cities and cultures to explore? Well, for me, the significance of finding Atlantis would be in adding weight to the other claims that Plato makes, claims that if we put them into the fiction basket, really become kind of irrelevant. But if they're real, Plato's claims are life-changing. So in Timaeus and Critias, which is the work where Atlantis makes its appearance, what kind of writing are we dealing with? What kind of information does Plato claim to be passing on to us? Well, Plato identifies three sources of information. The first one is logic applied to things we can all observe. We might call it science, Plato called it philosophy, but essentially it's logic applied to observation. It's on that basis that Plato makes the following conclusions. In today's language, we would call it the holographic universe, the conscious universe. The belief that the material universe is the expression or fractalization of the primordial field of intelligence and consciousness. That you and I existed as beings of light or spirit before we came into this life as human beings, and that our learning here is really remembering what we knew before. It's also on this basis that Plato concludes that we're here to learn how to do consciousness, love, harmony, and intelligence as a free society of individuals exercising free choice. Plato reaches all those conclusions from logic applied to things we all observe. His second source of information was what we would call an altered state of consciousness, a personal experience of another dimension through the ingestion of an ancient Greek psychedelic called kykeon, part of what was known as the Eleusinian Mysteries. Out of that experience, Plato deepens his view that we each are spiritual beings going through a human experience in order to learn love and wisdom. And it's from that source he teaches that our biggest obstacle to enjoying this life and making that journey, learning those lessons, is fear, and fear of death in particular. He teaches that our challenge is to shake off our heavier emotions, emotions that detract from a good human experience. Anger, rage, fear, frustration, hatred, resentment, unforgiveness. We have to learn how to deal with that and shake it off. And he teaches that at death, our consciousness goes on. But before returning to our original glory and oneness, we have to process that heavier stuff, the stuff that's weighed us down. He teaches that in death we're met by spirit beings, whether by loving ancestors, those who've gone before us, or by interdimensional beings. Did you know that Plato taught this? Who are deeply involved in the learnings of a human experience. Now from here, or the next source of information, Plato has also concluded that there are people similar to us who live on islands in the sky. They're more intelligent than us, they're longer lived than us, and with an advanced knowledge of the cosmos. He also taught that powerful beings, he didn't know what they were, he just called them children of God, had intervened in the very evolution of Homo sapiens as an intelligent and conscious species. He also taught that planet Earth experiences periodic extinction-level events that basically take human civilization back to a virtual zero, and everything has to reset and re-establish itself. And he says, these are things I can't prove, but that I have come to believe, things I have concluded. Plato's third source of information is a canon of ancient Egyptian priestly knowledge, which he claims was passed on to a real figure in Greek history called Solon, a political figure, a legislator. And this information, he said, had been curated by the Egyptian priesthood of antiquity, but that this information predated even that. And it's from that source that Plato tells us of Atlantis, a previous civilization